could talk
about the mafia, bro.
Yeah, Irishman. Okay. Everybody seen it? You saw it. You say you saw it in New York, which is tight as fuck. New York,
man. It was crazy.
And you know what? And when I was watching that, I thought about you when you said you saw it in New York. So you sat in the movies for 4 hours then.
3.5 hours. It didn't even feel like it.
Previews? No. But previews, that's 4 hours.
No previews.
It's a long time.
Oh, shit. Okay.
It was at a 111-year-old movie theater off of Times Square. Actually, it wasn't even a movie theater. It was a Broadway theater. They never had shown a movie there before until this one.
Wow.
It was a whole crowd full of Italians and real New Yorkers and cool people. And, man, that was a really...
Hey, pass me the popcorn, will ya?
Yeah, it's people, shit like that, for real. It was dope.
You saw it, Sean?
I saw like half of it.
Half of it, for sure. It's long as fuck, so I feel you.
Yeah, I turned it off when he...
Oh, yeah.
I turned it off. There was a activating scene, but I started watching it again, but I'm going to pick it up.
Yeah, I saw that shit on Thanksgiving, 8 o'clock in the morning. I woke up.
I was supposed to watch it with my dad, and like, we didn't watch it. I don't know why.
Well, he probably saw it without you.
I don't know if he's watching it.
Nah, go on and watch it. I already seen that shit.
I feel like he's wanting to talk about it. It's crazy, though, because he talked about it a lot leading up to its release.
Yeah.
And he was like, I heard it. He's always like kind of, I don't know. He kind of holds all Scorsese and Pesci and all them to kind of a high standard.
Yeah.
So usually kind of down on them, but he's like, this I think could be good. And I heard Joe Pesci's really good. And
man, he was
reading. He was like, so it seemed like he was like super into it, and we just didn't watch it on Thanksgiving. I thought we were, but we just.
Man, for those who don't know the knowledge on Martin Scorsese, first of all, for those that can't even really appreciate the cinema and film,
speak on it,
and directing, it's hard to explain. Martin Scorsese really changed the game.
Speak on it.
Since the 70s. The man has made a movie every 2 years. That's incredible dedication to the art form. Every 2 years.
I didn't even, you just put me on.
Yeah, it's crazy. He's been a part of a lot of things.
Yeah.
He's brilliant. He's worked with everybody.
Yeah.
He's most notably with De Niro and Joe Pesci, Harvey Keitel, a couple of other people. Who was also in The Irishman.
He was hella good.
So if you know about this shit, this is a
all right. So The Irishman, man, it's starring Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Harvey Keitel, as you just said, Ray Romano. It fucking got Action Bronson in the movie.
Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci. Who else is in there?
Joe Fish.
What's that guy's name, man?
The comedian dude.
Nah, yeah. There's a couple stand-up comedians in there.
It's a few people from...
I'm spacing right now, but it's...
Boardwalk Empire in there.
And The Sopranos.
It's a few people from there.
Yep.
It's an all-star cast. It's probably the best casted movie.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Maybe of the decade.
The budget was incredible. It was a $160 million budget.
That's crazy.
The studios wouldn't touch it. Netflix was like, we'll touch it.
Hell yeah.
That's like for this day and age, that's like an astronomical figure. Like usually there would be budgets that big when there were, because they had to have a lot of extras.
Yeah.
And a lot of big sets. Now you don't have to have that because you have CGI and you have, you know what I mean? You can do more like green screen type things. Now they did use the CGI, which I think was pretty expensive to make guys look younger.
Yeah, for sure.
It wasn't too bad either.
And older too, though.
Older.
Yeah, because Joe Pesci in the movie got old as fuck.
But remember
at the end?
Yeah.
You know, I didn't watch it all, but remember there was a scene where they were pushing checker taxi cabs into the bay or whatever. I was like, that shit must have been so expensive to do that. Like all those classic cars, just throwing them in the water.
Damn.
Like think about like just the price of that. I was like, why is that shit? Because I was like trying to be like, well, this budget's hella high, so like, where is it coming from? I knew the CGI wasn't cheap, but I was like, why just stuff like that? I was like, holy fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you're throwing like
I did not think about that, man.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible.
But it's a story that I've never really heard, though. I never knew about Frank Sheeran, who's the star character of the movie.
Robin Niro. Sure.
I didn't know the movie was going to be so closely about the Teamsters.
Mm-hmm.
My pops was a Teamster.
That's tight.
That's dope.
Yeah, and that was kind of like the first time I heard of Jimmy Hoffa and everything, and he met the son. He met Hoffa Jr.
I mean, Jimmy Hoffa created the American middle class.
It's a fact.
You know, one of my favorite movies always has been Hoffa starring Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I haven't watched that in so long. Yeah, I haven't watched that.
If you want a history lesson just on American history and on just the history of labor, and you know, watch that as well.
Who played Hoffa in that?
Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson. Who do you think was a better Jimmy Hoffa, him or Al Pacino?
I like Jack Nicholson more.
For real?
No way.
Man, Al Pacino killed it, bro.
Yeah, that was one of his best performances ever.
I just think he doesn't really look like him.
He doesn't.
No, he didn't.
That was
and
my thing.
I think he kind of took the role
Jack
he
Nicholson
played.
didn't look that much like him.
Dick Tracy. Have you seen
Look
Dick
more
Tracy?
like him.
Yeah.
Remember Big Boy?
Yeah, Big Boy.
He kind of had a big boy vibe
he's
to him.
going off on that.
For sure, he had a big boy vibe.
So The Irishman is actually based on a book called I Heard You Paint Houses.
Yeah.
I started checking it out, and that's just really interesting.
Yeah.
They took a lot of stuff in that movie directly out the book, so it seems pretty accurate. But the book goes even further into the labor movement, and it's a really corrupt and crazy story. What's going on? It tells the story of America, like you were saying. And even though we have a lot of things, good things that came out of the labor movement, it just opened up the door to a lot of corruption. That's
everything was corrupt.
Yeah.
The employers were more corrupt. So the thing is, the labor movement, they're like gangs.
Yeah, they're gangs straight up.
You know what I mean? They're fraternities, and they fought for what they got. Yeah. There's a scene in and correct me if I'm wrong, and I'll fact check it. I haven't seen Hoffa in like 10 years, but there's a scene in Hoffa where like they fight some scabs and like 400 people died.
Yeah,
I don't know straight up, like there was.
I don't know if that's accurate, but
no, there was like tons of people died. There's like, and they show it. There's a battle scene where like
in that movie.
In Hoffa,
I haven't watched it
in Hoffa, where they fight,
I don't remember that.
And like, dude, it's like hundreds of dudes fighting each other, and like hell of people died. And it was basically like the guys were on strike, and the employers brought in some scabs, and they went to war, dude.
What are scabs?
Like people are gonna cross the picket line for their job. Like you go on strike, you're like, we're not working, and then these other guys come and be like, we'll take your job. Like, what?
Yeah.
And it's like,
but the Paint Houses book goes a lot deeper into that.
Into the relationship with the mob. Hoffa doesn't talk really about the mob.
So
at
the
all.
mafia is basically talks about the whole history of the mafia as a nationwide organized crime syndicate.
Yeah.
So basically every mafia there's all these different mafia territories in the country.
New York being the hub.
Being the capital, essentially. And basically approving all these things happening nationwide.
Yeah. Because in New York, the first 5 families are housed in New York.
Yeah. That's basically where everything started. That's where everyone came in at, too.
Yeah,
right?
Lucky Luciano.
Lucky Luciano.
If you watch Boardwalk Empire, I don't know if y'all watched that.
I love that.
But that
Boardwalk Empire,
I finished it maybe like a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
it just
really
tells
good.
Everything, bro.
Yeah,
like that's
really
that's one of the most incredible shows. Scorsese worked on that. He was the EP of that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, it tells the history of all that shit.
So actually, Joe Biden is in that book. Speaking of Joe Biden, we were just talking about.
And I heard you paint houses?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because apparently he was doing favors for the Teamsters back in the day. That's what Frank Sheeran claimed in his book.
It's also I haven't watched the entire movie yet, but there's a I saw an article recently talking about there was a hit that takes place on Walnut Creek that actually was a real hit that took place.
He spoke about it in the movie. Yeah.
It really happened in real life.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all based on a true story.
But the whole thing
a few of the things in that movie though is like hella hard to believe though, man.
Like
I've been telling people I don't want to spoil it, but I've been telling people that movie is kind of like the mafia version of Forrest Gump.
Well, because it goes to American history for like
that,
3,
and
4
you know,
decades.
Forrest Gump was a part of all these major American events, and that's what the mob was a part of. In that movie, it's saying that the mob was a part of all these major events.
Well, there's a lot.
JFK, RFK, Bay of Pigs, all this shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, come on, man.
Nah, but that's how that's the thing is.
You don't believe some of that shit?
That's how gangster this country has been, and that's how
I don't know.
Like people feel like
a lot of that shit is documented, like the Kennedys.
Yeah.
Like his dad.
Well, yeah, Pops was a mob. He was definitely a mob.
Slinging liquor.
Yeah.
And they was fixing the election. Speaking of fixed elections and shit, like they supposedly helped get JFK in office.
Yeah. That I believe. But
I don't find that hard to believe.
Once you get to the assassination part, it gets tricky.
I don't think we're ever going to know the full story.
No, not at all.
The thing about the assassination of JFK, and it's like, I have limited knowledge on what I've researched on it, but that dude had like 10 major enemies. Like everyone hated JFK.
Mm-hmm.
So many people hated him. So
some powerful ass
hard
motherfuckers too.
Like I wouldn't be surprised at all if the mob put it on him. And there's definitely people like I saw like Michael Francese say that they fucking put a hit. But
Yeah.
it's also like you're an old mob boss talking that way, and like it's a pride thing.
Yeah.
Of course, you're gonna claim like that you guys did that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I wouldn't be surprised if it was Russians that did it. A lot of shit points to that. I wouldn't be surprised if Cuba did it. I wouldn't. You know what I mean? There's a lot. He had so many enemies.
Yeah.
And the way it was done.
Federal Reserve, the bank.
I think what it shows, like with the mob and these relationships with the government and then like assassinations or whatever, it's like, dude, like as much as we feel like there's only like certain people running things, there really isn't. There's hella chaos. There's hella different factions up, you know what I mean? And stuff just jumps off, man. Like stuff just be happening. You know what I mean?
I disagree completely. I think the whole story, not to like be argumentative or anything, but I think the whole story just shows how like crime is connected to all these different things happening in our history. And it is all happening kind of under the same. There is some of the same forces putting a lot of these things in motion, man.
I guess that maybe I'm phrasing it the wrong way. I think there totally is like all types of organized corruption and all types of I don't know, just like etiquette and the way things are ran and the hierarchy. But I also think just should just be happening.
Of course.
And like they can't. I mean, what I'm saying is, as much as there is that, I don't think they can control everything.
So
my point.
You don't really believe in a lot of the events that happen in the movie.
I totally believe in the events that happen in the movie.
Oh, okay.
Not all of them because I haven't seen it all yet, but everything I've seen, I'm like, yeah, why not?
But Bay of Pigs.
But what I'm saying is that like,
why is that hard to believe?
I don't know, man.
Also, the mafia worked for the government during World War II. They would watch the docks and they were communicating with the army and like searching boats and stuff. Like it ain't that far-fetched, bro. Look at American Gangster too. He was getting his dope from the military.
Yeah. That was always rumored though too, for sure.
Yeah, but
and E. Howard Hunt being a part of that arms transaction with Frank Sheeran, and then E. Howard Hunt being a part of Watergate and shit. That
I could totally see it, bro. I think when you look at gangs, whether it's mafia gangs or even street gangs, I think gangs get manipulated a lot of times and used to do certain things on the street.
That's true.
For certain people in power.
To keep a degree of separation.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Whether it's go beat up some voters or go break up some protests or go ship in some guns or just do some gangster shit. When you need someone to do some gangster shit, you call a gang.
And also, I think that I'm pretty sure it probably wasn't like touched on in the movie. I haven't watched it all yet, but like the mob, Jimmy Hoffa, by and far, all them dudes were some straight racist redneck. I mean, not rednecks, but there were some racist far right bigots.
Was Jimmy Hoffa racist?
He was hella far right. He like was down with Nixon. Like
I don't know if he was racist though, because there was a lot of black Teamsters and he was fucking with them.
Maybe he wasn't like overtly racist, but what I'm saying,
he was a conservative.
He was super conservative, and he supported legislation that was hella racist.
Yeah, he's old
That's
school,
my whole thing.
red-blooded American
too
type
is
of
like
guy.
I seen someone say like Martin Scorsese was racist because in his movies they say the N-word a lot and stuff like that. I don't think Martin Scorsese is really just trying to show how fucking racist fucking East Coast Italians are.
I think,
and that's like my dad is from Italy and he lived, he came to New York and stuff, but we always had a different, like he always taught me like we're not like them. We're not like them. You know what I mean?
Have you ever seen,
he's like some of the most racist experiences and places he have been are all in New York State.
Have you ever seen Mean Streets?
Oh fuck yeah!
Have you seen that?
I haven't seen that.
That's
I know the movie, but
that's like Scorsese's first movie. That one is one of the dopest to me because it's about where he grew up,
Johnny Boy,
and just kind of like the type of dudes that were in his neighborhood. And that one kind of laid the foundation for the way he films all these other movies today.
But I think Scorsese was trying to point out like how racist they are.
In this one, there's no N-bombs in The Irishman.
Yeah, but I'm saying in the past, I don't think it's because Scorsese's like it thinks it's cool.
Talking about
I think he's
trying to call them spooks. It was some racial slurs.
I just said no N-bombs. That's all
I'm just saying, like, I think he tries to show, like, yo, this is my people, but they're like wild racist.
Right.
And it's not cool. It's not pretty. You know what I mean? So that's my point on that.
I fuck with Scorsese, man.
Scorsese's tight.
His movies, I'm connected to a lot of his movies.
It's some of the best art that's come out of this country in the recent decades.
I'm very honest.
So I think y'all should go see it. And if there's any people,
it's on Netflix.
If there's anyone from the mafia listening to this, we apologize. We don't, you know what I'm saying?
If y'all want to come on and talk,
if you want to tell your side of the story, we got a platform for you.
Man, everyone in the mob is like 70 years old, bro, at the least. The mob don't exist anymore.
Hey man, according to Google, I went
the mafia, the Italian mob. The Italian mob is the mafia, La Cosa Nostra, which is from Italy. And then it came. Then you know the mafia is the American version.
No, that's reverse.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I watched the boy.
Okay,
I watched the boy who you've been telling me.
That shit's tight.
Yeah.
But that dude loves Trump. That dude is shady as fuck. I watched some other Michael Franzese. Like, so I watched some shit with him, and it was like super. In that whole gasoline scam.
And he's hella pro Trump.
I watched this other thing where he did a lecture in the UK, and he was just like, "I love Trump. Give him a chance. I don't know." I was like, "Dude, fuck you, bro." Like,
I mean, I don't expect nothing more from.
I don't either.
Nothing less from some dude like that,
right?
But that just shows.
I think the Italian mafia can't exist like it used to exist because there's no more Italian ghettos. There's nobody for them to exploit. There's nobody for them to recruit. There's an episode on The Sopranos about it. Like they try to shake down a Jamba Juice, and they're just like, dude, like no.
I think that's the next thing I really got to dive into.
But the biggest reason
I didn't watch it.
The biggest reason that the mafia can't exist no more is there's fucking cameras everywhere, dude.
Nah.
Yeah,
bro.
I think that's part of it because they used to do a lot of.
Dude, and they're just like going around collecting money.
Yeah.
No, they can find ways.
But the hits,
I'm sure they are still around.
I'm saying that in the way it operated, like how it was pretty much out in the open and everyone knew.
Yeah.
I think it's more. I think it's like their power situation in society. Like what Italian. There's no reason for Italian people these days in America to join the mafia.
I think that's true
or
too.
Or fear the mafia.
Or fear them or join a gang.
But I think
it's just not part of that reality
I think part of
as much anymore.
No fear is like there's just cameras everywhere.
I mean, if the mafia was still as strong as it should be, those cameras shouldn't matter.
Think about the socioeconomic, like,
but
I'm not trying to break it down too much, but just the rise of Italian Americans
that I agree
since 1900, since the mafia first came
because of the mafia.
About the only way
that rise because of
partly because of it.
For sure.
I think you're definitely right.
But think about it, the only way you could be in the mafia is if you're 100% Italian, right?
Or your dad's Italian.
No, it's 100% Italian.
Nah,
yeah, your dad's Italian.
Your dad's Italian.
Yeah. Dad gotta be Italian.
It's fresh because I watched.
I saw that shit too.
I just watched it.
Or whatever it is, like you have to be Italian. It's like how Henry Hill and fucking Goodfellas was never a made man because he was Irish.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And so it's like,
but he ended up being a snitch though. So.
Well, yeah, he's a snitch. All the movies are about snitches. First of all,
facts.
That's how we know all this shit.
That's what I was talking about. Fucking Frank Lewis, but
Frank Sheeran never snitched though.
No,
he died though, right?
No, but at the end of the movie,
he said that he did all that shit.
At the end of the movie, though,
in the book.
No, but at the end of the movie, the feds walked up to him and said, and then they were trying to get some information. He's like, "Man, I don't want to. I don't have nothing to say." And then he was like, "Bro, they're all dead." He said, "Who's dead?" He said, "Your lawyer's dead." Who did it? He said, "Cancer."
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
That shit was tight though.
But yeah, I think you have to have a level of poverty. That's why crime exists in certain communities. That's a good point. It's the only way. When Italians came here, joining a gang and doing some illegal shit was the only way for a lot of those dudes.
Yeah. It ain't super like poor. That no super more. Poor.
It ain't like that no more. Yeah. Straight up.
I think it's a lot different.
Yeah, of course. But I think that would be the main one, man. Like, and if you ever you ever see Growing Up Gotti or whatever? Look at those kids now. They're a bunch of fucking spoiled little fucking goobers,
those
bro.
Guys.
Yeah.
The fuck?
Yeah.